Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast. Got that right? Episode 42. And I am here with both Tom and Duncan. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Evening.
Evenings. Yes. Yes.
Thursday evening.
How you doing?
I'd like to say, great episode, last one, with Gary Bracey. If anyone hasn't yet seen it, go.
Fantastic.
Very enjoyable.
It was another one where we could have talked to him for hours. And there were so many things afterwards that I'm like, I did ask him about that. I did ask him about that. Oh. Yeah, so good. So good.
I had a brief chat with him through email after the show and sent him the link for the show. And he's very much up for the Ocean Software Reunion episode. So, yeah, I'm going to get that sorted and he'll be back on again for more questions. So,
well, if we can get a word in. I think if you get a few of them on here, I think we'd end up being sort of in the background.
Chaperones, yeah.
Oh, could you imagine? Yeah, not seeing someone for 40 years and then suddenly, hello. Although they are in contact, I think.
Did you ever watch that? I can't remember the guy. No, it's not. You're not going to remember it. But I can't remember the person. He was a Bristolian guy with big, long, blonde hair, and he used to do this show where he'd get reunions. So he got all the old Star Wars. I think he got the old Star Wars.
Yes.
Is it Justin Collins? Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, Justin Lee Collins.
Yeah, Justin Lee Collins. He'd be a bit like that, but that's a podcast.
Yeah, his career abruptly finished.
Yeah, he got
accused of
partner, wasn't it?
Smack his girlfriend or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did a couple of bad mistakes that meant his career could not really carry on.
He's pretty big before that happened, wasn't it? Because he did the Friday Night Project, didn't he?
He's good.
Yeah, he did this reunion shows where he would get the old. I think was it Star Trek. I think he did one Star Trek. I think he did one Star Wars. And you'd see him tracking them down and seeing if they would agree to meet up. But yeah, sorry. Yeah. A little bit off.
Well, I was going to say, don't say to Tom, "Are you going to be the new Justin Lee Collins?" We don't want to have to kick him out. But you've had a good week, haven't you, Martin? Because haven't you got something?
I did, yeah. So I've got a Nintendo Switch OLED. So
nice.
There's been quite a few games. So I did have a Nintendo Switch a couple years ago. And then since then, there has been quite a few games that have come out, which I wanted to play. So I've decided to buy it. It's pre-owned, but works perfectly as a new one. And I got Tears of the Kingdom with it.
Nice.
So that was really the main game that I wanted. Been playing that quite a bit. Well, I say quite a bit. I've only probably done about 3 or 4 hours, so still really.
So yeah, you haven't built any crazy machines yet.
No, I have done a lot of building, but nothing crazy. But yeah, probably one of the funnest things on the game is the building, because you can just. What I do love about certain games is just allows you to decide sort of. There's probably a way you should do it, but you can go a different route if you want to, which on Zelda you can do that. So there's one point where I was climbing a mountain and there was a bit where you couldn't really climb it because it was ice. There was probably way, and I just stuck a load of tree trunks together and climbed up the tree trunks. I was thinking, I don't know if that's how I was meant to do it, but it got me where I needed to.
Like a giant toothpick.
Yeah, it's really so far so good. I just got into Hyrule Kingdom, so I think like what I was just doing was probably just like the opening bit was just getting used to what you can do on there. Like you can also fuse weapons together, which is quite fun. So you just get a stick with a massive rock on it and just go around and whack them. Yeah, and bows with fire.
Do you build something? You build things and then save them as like a blueprint, don't you? So you can quickly build them. So like if you build a vehicle, you can quickly build it.
Yeah, but possibly, yeah. So I mean, vehicles. I've built some boats and stuff like that to get over. But yeah, it's
You haven't built any complex machinery yet, then?
nothing. No, the most complex was a boat that I've done, but yeah, I can't. I'm genuinely really impressed with it. It's as good as I thought it was going to be, and
I mean, the hardware. I mean, that game on that hardware is astounding. I mean, they've got the best out of that hardware.
And I know people joke about when you compare the Switch to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. See, there is a bit of a downgrade when it comes to, but yeah, that game is as good as any game that I played on PlayStation 5 or Xbox. The OLED, the screen as well, is probably the best handheld I've ever had as well in terms of the quality of the screen. The sound is just, I've been really impressed with, and I'm really happy with my purchase. Another game that I play, which isn't on the Switch, Sea of Thieves, because that recently the PlayStation. I could have played it because I've had Gamepass for the last sort of best part of a year or so, but all my PlayStation friends now are like obsessed with it. So
what do you think?
Now. So far, I mean, I'll play it because they're playing it. I don't think I would play it if they weren't on it.
It is good with friends only. It's one of those,
yeah.
I've never played it.
I mean,
it's very much even with the small boat, because you get different sizes of boats, and even with the small boat, it's helpful to have two people. You can do it by yourself, but it's a bit of a pain because you have to wind up the anchor, and then you have to put the sails down according to how fast you want to go. Then you've got to steer. Then you've got to look at the map of where you are, because there isn't an on-screen map. You've got to go to the map.
That's the one thing that I reckon some people probably like that, but I would much prefer if there was a map and you just knew where you were going, because it is irritating that you have to go and quickly look at the map, and then when you're on an island, there'll be a certain point you've got to get to, and it won't point you, so you just have to sort of walk there and hope, and then start digging in that sort of certain area or whatever if you're looking for it. So like I said, because I'm playing with friends, it's enjoyable, but I probably wouldn't play it.
Just drinking till you fall, like you hurl over them, and I think that's an achievement that I actually got, is that you have to drink till you vomit, and then you have to vomit into a bucket and then throw the bucket over somebody. Throw the bucket and vomit over somebody.
I'll throw that over one of my friends.
There was another one that you had to get with a random person or something. I can't remember. I accidentally got it, and my friend who'd been trying to get it for ages absolutely went mental at me because I just accidentally got it. It was something to do with a bucket of vomit or something like that. It might have to be that you have to throw it over a random person. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I remember my friend being like, I can't be trying to get that for ages. But no, it is a good game. But yeah, no, it's one that you've got to not necessarily dedicate a lot of time to, but it's not a jump in, jump out game as well. It's one that if you're having a good 4-hour session with your mates,
maybe I've only really played it for an hour, so maybe if I play it a bit longer, I'll be a bit more positive about it. But at the moment, I'm just like they love it. They're loving it because they played it a lot more than me, and that's all they're sort of chatting about in our sort of group chat. And I'm just like, okay, but I'd rather play Tears of the Kingdom. That's probably why, like, so
I can imagine.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're planning on like having a session some night over the weekend, so I imagine I'll probably join them. But yeah, we'll see.
But I'd associate it with that. You've got obviously Microsoft games, and that's very much a first party game by Rare. And it's been, I think you were saying there was, what was it, 9 games seven games in the PlayStation top 25, and there was more Microsoft games than PlayStation games. I think I'm just looking at the list there that I put up. So there was, in April the 18th, there was Call of Duty, Overwatch 2, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 4, Minecraft, Fallout 76, and Grounded were all in the top 25. And Sony ones, there was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I wonder what the release window comparison is, though, because I don't really think much has been released on PlayStation in the last month or so.
Well, the PlayStation games were MLB The Show 24, Helldivers 2, obviously, which is pretty much the obsessive thing at the moment. Destiny 2, which is always up there. Stellar Blade, which is a new one. And Rise of the Ronin. So,
that's relatively new, isn't it? Rise of the Ronin, that came out.
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin. Stellar Blade is literally, I think that was the first week it was there, I think.
But Stellar Blade was the game that has got a bit of controversy because of the main character.
Her butt going up and down ladders, I think, is I must have seen about 25 different videos of her going up and down the ladder.
The game does look pretty good, though.
It does. It looks fantastic. I haven't actually seen that's the thing. I haven't seen anything about it other than the main character's butt.
Yeah, so I see in some of the reviews that it got marked down on the reviews because of the main character,
which is mental, really.
Yeah. So no one's had anything really negative to say about the actual gameplay, but they mentioned the
lady butt.
How can you get marked down for a butt?
Well, apparently it's a nice butt. I won't say apparently, it is a nice butt, but I'm saying butt a lot. I should stop saying butt.
Nothing compares to Lara Croft and PlayStation. The polygon.
Especially on this first one.
What, the first? Are we talking polygonal? Polygonal? Tomb Raider or more recent reboot?
No, the recent, the original.
The original.
We could go ultra polygon and go Sega Saturn. I mean, if you really want some straight curves.
If you want the male orientated, there's only one sort of mainstream game, and that's the Dead or Alive games. Do you remember them? You literally had they had boob physics in them.
They did.
And you could turn up the boob physics.
Can you imagine being that person that had to work on that game and sort of went home to his wife and say, "I'm working late. What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm working on boob physics.
I'm gonna make sure the boobs don't go up and down too much."
Some good games, actually.
They were okay. They were okay. It certainly wouldn't. I mean, obviously, you get games that you can increase them and decrease the sizes nowadays. Baldur's Gate 3 had that, but yeah, having boob physics on or off. I don't know if you get away with that nowadays. I think you probably would be marked down on that with a lot of places. Not that I'm particularly complaining. So so there you go. So Microsoft have taken over PlayStation.
Wonder if it's a sign of the things to come. Do you reckon that'll be common? Well, now they've taken over Activision. Is it Activision?
Yeah, Activision Blizzard. So they've got
Blizzard. I guess it's inevitable that they're going to, because Call of Duty will always be in the charts. They just release one each year and they'll be in the chart for that year until the new one comes out. But, and then obviously they've got other massive games as well, don't they? Activision. So
actually, talking about Activision Blizzard, actually we'll go back a couple of episodes because you weren't here when I was talking about Diablo 4, and I played it because it came on Game Pass. Oh God, it's
I was when you did your review. You said it was very grey.
It was. Well, I talked about it more the week after, and I just said in the end I gave up on it because it was just so boring and dull, and the gameplay for me was I just didn't like it at all. Obviously I'm not the target audience because I would play through it once and never touch it again. But yeah, even as a not target audience, I could see what a lot of people were complaining about. Did you ever actually complete the story, the campaign?
Yeah, I completed the story. I didn't do much afterwards, though. I did because afterwards you could do like dungeons and stuff like that, and there would be like the different tiers of, and then there was a whole new tier in regards to sort of leveling up your character. But I did the story. I quite enjoyed the story mode, but I did do it mostly again with friends. So I don't know if I was going solo, maybe not so much, but did do a bit on my own. But yeah, I mean, I just created my character. I quite like games where you create your character and you see sort of the fruits of your creation. I was going on YouTube a lot and seeing like the best build for that type of character I had.
So I didn't get into all that, and I was playing it after having things like Baldur's Gate 3, where again creating character. I have my own personal character, and it's a fantastic game and great story, and sort of a bespoke story because and then going to that where it was just everything was grey, even trees were grey. Oh, it's just it was dull and didn't like it. Anyway.
I mean, a bit harsh on the colour grey.
Yeah, grey has its place. But I don't want my demonic, blood-soaked games to be grey. I want them to be
red,
colourful and
like Super Mario Wonder. And...
yeah, unicorn poop. I'm just going to rip your skin off, kind of thing.
Oh, no.
But, no. So, Tom, we haven't really asked you yet. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2 on PlayStation Plus, which is a really good game. Much better than the first one, which graphically is for a PS3 game was fantastic.
It's also on Gamepass as well because it's EA Play. So if you've got EA Play as well, it's on there because it's an EA game.
Yeah, but no, really, really good. And someone playing it. Obviously, it's a hack and slash with lightsabers, but really good.
It's so much fun, isn't it? Throwing people around and choking people, and I mean the best thing to pick them up and then sort of get the stormtroopers and just whack throw them around to
slam a box into them.
Yeah, to play 10-pin bowling with a stormtrooper.
Yeah, you got the force lightning and the 2 lightsabers and stuff, and obviously I think you can fly ships in the sequel. So
I don't know because I was playing it recently. About 3 weeks ago, I played it a bit with my boy. He very much enjoyed watching me play it, and so I think I got about halfway through because I'd always thought I'd completed it, finished it. But then I loaded it up and was like, there isn't any save games or anything. I don't remember any of this. So I think I must have just played the demo or something.
Yeah, I can't complain. Enough that we're playing Fortnite. My kids are obsessed with getting to gold level. And before the Star Wars returns on May the 4th.
What's the highest level? I never played Fortnite, so what's the highest level?
I have no idea. We're about we're 4% away from gold, and that's all I can tell you.
Do they do it like in Rocket League? They do it in tiers, so you only play against people similar standard as you. You just play.
We have a ranked mode and then an unranked mode, and the ranked mode is much harder. So the 8-year-olds are on steroids, and the unranked mode they're all dyslexic. But I shouldn't say that. My son's dyslexic. But yeah, it's good fun. It's very good fun.
Well, I'm looking, and there is bronze, silver, and gold, and there is one above it, platinum. But then there's also diamond, and then there's elite, and then there's champion, and then there's unreal.
So in Rocket League, because they're all epic. They're both epic games, aren't they? Rocket League and Fortnite. So
yeah,
with Rocket League, it's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, champ, grand champ, and then supersonic. But supersonic is like pro sort of.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's for most people who play, it's going to be bronze, silver, gold, and maybe the one above, isn't it?
I'm never ever going to get much higher than gold because I really can't be bothered.
I got up to champ in Rocket League. That's the highest I've ever got up to. It's quite good, good standard. But there is like a jump though, so you get there and then you're like, you start playing against the 8-year-olds on steroids at that point. Steroids and their cornflakes. You're like, oh no, I'm just.
Let me guess. I'm guessing a few of them have probably had carnal relations with your mother.
Yeah, through the chat.
It's,
I'm like, what is my mum getting up to?
Blimey, that's about 30 of them. God.
He's in our 60s. What's going on?
It's worth having a play. It really is. I mean, Fortnite is. I did
play it a few times. The building, that's what put me off.
Yeah, are you playing the build or no build?
I don't build.
So you played, but
we can build in the game, but I don't go on. I don't specifically seek out the non-build version. I really have that not enough attention span to even consider that. But we play. The kids enjoy it. We play together, and when they win, they get excited, and when they win with me, it's an added bonus. So really good.
People would be so quick. Like I'd see someone, I'd start shooting them, and all of a sudden, just I'd be like, oh. I've just gone off into the sky building
just shoot the foundations out,
Or the one that annoys me, the one that annoys me is just when you've got somebody there standing right in front of you, and they're just building a wall constantly. You shoot it, build a wall, shoot it, build a wall, shoot it, and then it just really annoyed me. So I haven't played it since the no build was around, but I wouldn't mind occasionally.
Kids play Roblox as well, and I don't understand that one. I mean, they find these weird and wonderful games to play on it, and I'm like, it just looks shit.
Yeah,
it's funny how certain games just become really popular, don't they? So like Fortnite, Roblox was
Among Us was another one, wasn't it?
Among Us, I don't know if that's
the social deduction games. Yeah, they're good if you've got a big group of friends.
Is it the Fall Guy? What's the one where you're
Fall Guys? Yeah, little bean. Your little bean.
Really popular, wasn't it? I don't know if it still is, but I
it's free to play. So
it's a fun game.
Well, Fall Guys had creative, like create your own level, came I think end of last year. Sort of thing, and so now you can play your own levels and create your own levels or play created levels. So it has made it, in some ways, 100 times better, some ways 100 times worse, because you've got stupid levels that people create, and there's people that grief in various levels and whatnot. But at the same time, there's been some fantastic levels created. I played it a lot with my boy last year. But you Tom, you're just being a good dad at the end of the day, aren't you?
Of course. I mean, what else would you expect? So
good on you, Tom, playing Fortnite with your children. Just doing it for them, not for yourself.
No, of course not.
You're like, look, I got you a PS5 for your birthday.
No, leave me alone.
No chance of that. No chance of that with kids. Is there? Oh, look, we got something we can all play together. No, we don't have to play together.
Got you this PS5 with this 18 rated game, so I better play that one.
Oh, God, the amount of times where I've had to, just sort of sit there, just waiting for, it's like, please go to bed, please. And then the wife will just go, oh, shall we watch something now? Really? Now?
No, what you're more likely to get is, should we have an early night? Just want to play this. So,
and then well, if you're playing that, then I'll just go to sleep. Oh, okay. I mean, sorry, I'll be up in a bit. It took me a while to get through Alan Wake 2 because I couldn't play it when my boy was around, and I didn't get much time to play at that point. But I was cramming it in during the days before I had to sleep.
Yeah.
So I have been playing. It's just a game that's come out on Gamepass. That's the one. I couldn't think of what it's called then. Now I don't know if you two know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say Eiyuden Chronicle. So it's EIYUDEN. So it's Ayudin.
Is it like a JPRG?
JRPG, yeah. Yep, it certainly is.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's the Ayudin Chronicle is the series is a sequel to, or spiritual sequel to Suikoden. That was, I think, place.
You've set yourself up here, haven't you, Duncan?
Yeah, it's loads of Japanese like named games that I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce them, but it's Suikoden, which is
I've heard of them.
That one, that one, and then this one. There's it's the second one because there was Rising, Ayudin Chronicle Rising. Now this is another one in that series, and yeah, it's got really pretty 3D background. It isn't particularly graphically intensive, but it just looks pretty with pixel characters on it. So I don't know if you've seen that style that Octopath Traveler, I think, did a sort of similar thing. So it looks like they're Super Nintendo characters, but they're in a 3D world.
Yeah.
So it's really pretty to look at. And what I like at the moment is that there's turn-based fighting. There's no fad kind of battle thing or anything. It's just turn-based. Here's your skills. Take your turns and you fight. And yeah, really good. I'm enjoying it so far. Probably played about 10 hours. So I probably still haven't actually, these JRPGs, I probably still haven't actually touched the surface.
Do you like the JRPG games?
I used to, yes.
I know you're a big fan of Final Fantasy, but the other, like Persona, have you played that one? Or
you see, recent times I've not gone off them, but I don't have the focus nowadays. I'm old and in a world of my own most of the time, so I like to have things sort of in my face about what the story is, kind of thing. And when you've got 500 lines of things to read in a cutscene, but this one is all the cutscenes are fully voiced, so all good. But yeah, it's on Game Pass. Highly recommend it. So I haven't even got far enough to work out why it's called 100 Heroes yet. I've got a few heroes, but
maybe you'll end up with 100.
Yeah, I'm presuming that eventually you can pick from 100 and you have to make a team that's good, or I don't know. But yeah, so
something like that.
It's something like that. It's an old-fashioned JRPG, and I love it. So
apparently Starfield's getting another update, isn't it, with new missions and various other things?
Yes, yeah. Well, it's Bethesda have been in the news a lot, haven't they? Because the Fallout, because of the Fallout TV show, and Amazon were giving away Fallout 76 on Xbox and Windows. So everywhere people they were in that PlayStation top 25, both of them were. But they've had the next gen update for Fallout 4, and it's broken everything. It's broken mods. There was the massive Fallout London meant to be coming out on St. George's Day, April the 23rd, and they had to, about 2 days before, they said the update completely breaks our game, and it broke everything for them. It broke the scripting. It broke like graphical things. It broke so many things that they were like, we've got to delay it indefinitely. So it's literally ready to be released and gone. So we don't know when that's coming out. Steam Deck OLED, apparently. Well, Steam Deck, you can't. They stripped out the Fallout 4 launcher, so you couldn't actually change the settings, which meant some of the devices like Steam Deck OLED couldn't change the settings so they were good, and they were getting stutters and crashes and all sorts of things. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a disaster for Bethesda actually for their games, although the TV shows, I'm on watched episode 5, so
I watched the first episode, which was good. So
it's nice and gory, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like how it's not based on any of the games, but obviously they've taken a lot of inspiration from the game with the bolts and the with the, I can't remember what they're called, but the ones that wear metal suits.
The Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, you got the ghouls, so you got all the different characters, don't you? So yeah, I'm looking forward
There
to
is there's a what's it called? What's the robots called? Mr. Whatever. The helper robots in Fallout. They're called Mr. Handy. Mr. Handy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Mr. Handy, and it's voiced by Matt Berry, who you might know from the IT crowd and What We Do in the Shadows, that kind of thing.
I know, yeah.
One that talks like this kind of thing.
Yeah. He was their boss, wasn't he, in the IT?
Yes, he was the boss in the IT crowd. And so it just, the voice started and then it came out and it was Mr. Handy. So he's only in about episode 5 or 4 or 5. I won't tell you what happens, but it's quite funny. But he's a very handy Mr. Handy.
I need to get back to watching it.
My partner was a bit confused about she was like, so is it set in the future or the 50s? And I'm like, it's set in the future, but it's kind of got 50s aesthetics. So she was like, yeah, she was just finding it really confusing. And then,
my wife, I was watching it with her. We watched the first 2 episodes and she just went, it's not really for me. Obviously, you know about the games and all this kind of thing. So I'd filled her in with some of the lore about the fact that, I don't know if this isn't spoiling the TV show, is that most of the vaults weren't actually safe places for people. They were actually social experiments set up by the government of Vault-Tec. And so I'd explained all this kind of thing to her and why it was this and who that was and what they were doing. And she still didn't get it. So, but apparently it's Amazon Prime's second most watched program ever.
What's the first?
I don't know. It's probably going to be something ridiculous, isn't it? I don't know.
It's probably Picard.
Possibly, although that's gone for the final season went to Paramount, didn't it?
I've been busy catching up on Star Trek Discovery. I stopped Fallout and then went to Discovery, and then I'm going to go back again. And I watched that baby reindeer Netflix.
Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah, that's a bit messed up.
It's not the Lord of the Rings one, is it?
No, maybe, yeah.
I don't know if that was ever really that popular though, but I don't know. But Fallout is really popular, isn't it? So it must be something.
Okay, here's there's The Boys as well.
Oh, yeah.
The Boys, but Reacher. Although I loved Reacher, that was a good show. I can't wait for series 3. But Reacher or The Boys. But Fallout TV show, highly recommend it. I still haven't got to the end though.
No,
it's quite hard to watch something where people's heads are getting crushed and there's effing and jeffing all the way through it when you've got a 6-year-old in the house. What are they doing, Daddy? Well, he is crushing his head, so his head explodes. Oh, is that his brains? Yes, that's all over that robot's hand.
My 14-year-old decided he wanted to watch Sinister 2 the other day. Googling it, and it's a horror movie. It's quite full on. And
is that the one with the red demon?
No, that's
the one begin with I. Insidious.
Yeah. Insidious. Yeah. It's with the music, isn't it? Insidious.
But let's just say that I had to have a little chat with him about it and said it's definitely not something you should be watching. He's like, why? I watch loads of 18 animes. I'm like, you're not watching this.
Yeah, you have to put your foot down sometimes. I mean, my stepson is 14, and with things like Skyrim and and Fallout games and whatnot, we'd be like, yeah, he played Starfield, and here's a few games like Baldur's Gate 3. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, there's a bit of sauciness in it, kind of thing, and you can basically create a character naked if you want. But I was like, yeah, if he wants to get off on seeing virtual naked people, then whatever. But there was what was the game that he wanted to play that eventually I went no. Phasmophobia. It was, and I was like, no, that's proper sort of that's going to make you have nightmares kind of game and make you jump out your skin. So I was like, no, when you're 15, you can play it, and he is going to be 15 in 11 months now, but no. He tried his luck with that, going off to. I researched it, and it's fine. I can watch it, and it's so different when they're watching a YouTube video of it or something. It's like, yeah, no, that's not scary. When you're actually playing it and you're controlling, very different story. But I digress.
Would you let him play Grand Theft Auto games?
Online, I'd let him play online, but not the campaign. No, because the campaign, it's funny, but it's also it trivializes the graphic nature. I mean, it has rape and torture and whatnot in it, which I can watch it and go, no, that's a bit stupid. I wouldn't do that in real life, and he wouldn't do that in real life. But no, it's a bit much. I think that's probably something that I'll be like, when you're not in this house, you can play it whatever you want. Now the online, like racing and shooting people, whatever, yeah, that's fine.
I just think like when I grew because I was at sort of that age when like San Andreas was sort of coming out, and I did play that, but I think it's more down to my mum and dad just not really being that knowledgeable about gaming. Whereas nowadays it's hard.
Yeah, Mum, it's fine.
I know it's got 18 on it, but it's just some swear words in it. I remember like playing. Did you ever? You probably would have played the Punisher game.
Yep.
When you could torture people to get them to give you.
That was quite full on, really, wasn't it?
They would put it in black and white, wouldn't they? When you're actually doing, but you could like put like a drill through someone's, because you could decide to, when they gave you what you needed, you could decide to let them go or carry on with it. But it was and Manhunt. I played that game when I was youth level.
Well, I mean, San Andreas I think came out when I was probably about 20. Hang on, 20. Probably about 20.
What games would it have been when you're at that sort of it?
When we were little. When we were little, you used to get the strip poker games. That would you'd get them in the bargain bin at the game shop, and they would be terrible. The game shops would sell them to you just because it's like, if you're going to get off to this, you need You
would have had the
head tested.
You would like the Mortal Kombat games. You were quite young.
Oh yes, yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Splatterhouse, stuff like that.
If we go a bit older, then you had the biggest controversial goes Manhunt, because that was literally like torture porn.
Yeah, I don't let my kids play any Grand Theft Auto or Manhunt or anything like that at all. I'm really strict, even on mobile.
Yeah, I mean, if my stepson came to me and went, "Oh, I want to play Manhunt," I'd probably go, "Nah." Mostly because at best it's an average game. It was okay. It wasn't anything special. So, but I'm like, there's so many better games. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 4 and whatnot. They're fantastic games. So you're almost like, oh, I don't know, do I let that go in? Ooh. No. But no, I probably won't. I'll probably be like, when you go off to university, you can play all these old games.
Yeah.
And include the first one where you used to get the little, was it Garanga, when you ran over all the Hare Krishna people? They used to be
on the
on the original Grand Theft Auto.
You would see them like making.
Yeah, they'd walk a row.
Yellow, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they walked along in a row, and if you hit them all in one go, you got the Garanga come up on the screen. And it was like, yeah, back in the days where they, a game celebrated murdering about 6 Hare Krishna people. Yeah.
Depends how annoying they get, really, isn't it?
They're twinking those little symbol things.
I mean, if you ever walked down our high street recently, there was a few that needed it. So,
Just to clarify, people, we are not condoning running over Hare Krishna people.
Or any other religion, for that matter.
Just don't run over people. That's not really very good.
Nice.
Unless you're playing Grand Theft Auto 1.
Yeah. And you're over the age of 18.
Yes. And you're not our kids.
Yeah.
Your kids, yes, fine, whatever, do.
Yeah.
But so we sort of digressed onto that kind of thing. But there's a couple of VR games, isn't there? To go back to gaming.
Yeah.
What we were talking about.
We've got the new Batman game coming out, which has just been announced for the Quest 3. It's not coming out on the Quest 2.
Yes, it's a big. That's why it's a bit of a big news, isn't it? Because it's one of the first exclusive to 3. They won't play on both of them, isn't it?
Yeah, Batman Arkham Shadow. There's a preview video, a trailer for it. But
it's just a teaser, really, isn't it?
Yeah, doesn't really tell you much. It looks quite good.
Well, I mean, the developer is the same developer apparently who made Iron Man VR, which was on PlayStation
and
VR?
Quest.
And Quest, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Which apparently was quite well received.
It was very good.
Because the previous Batman VR that was on PlayStation as well was more of an experience, I think. From all what I've read, I haven't played it. It wasn't really a game. So fingers crossed if it's that developer and they do another good job.
Yeah. And then you've got Alien Rogue Incursion, which I assume is you in VR running around a ship with a bleeping maze sensor.
Oh, God, is it going to be like Isolation?
I hope so.
That game really annoyed me because I built it up in my head. It didn't annoy me because the game was bad. I built it up in my head that it was going to be a scary game. But you don't actually meet the aliens for ages. It's like the original, was it 1979 film, where you don't actually see any aliens or anything until near the end of the film.
Yeah.
So I was walking around this station like, oh God, what am I doing? And being normal wimpy me. And just after about an hour and a half, I'm like, okay, I should have probably seen something by now. And then sure enough, and it does find, Isolation VR, that would just be horrific. Oh.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be definitely one I get, I think.
Is that Quest 3 as only?
It's also exclusive to Quest 3, yeah. So we're, I think the days of Quest 2 is coming to an end.
Well, I think Facebook. I think Meta. People who own it, who own the Quest 2, will still be buying. A lot of people will keep. I think it will be like the Wii and the Wii U kind of thing. A lot of people will be like, "No, look, all the games are coming out for both." So I think the developers will be trying to keep things on both for quite a while.
Yeah,
I think. But yeah, you're going to get the exclusive ones, and someone somewhere has probably paid a lot of money to get this game made, and putting a lot of fingers crossed that it sells well.
But apparently, there's someone. Well, it got shut down pretty quickly, but someone announced a way of side-loading games from the App Store for free, and then uploaded all the game files.
Oh dear.
So I don't know.
Is there not been a way that you can pirate? No. Oh, they're normally these kind of things.
There is. It's not something I can maybe talk about on this podcast, but yeah, there are.
Oh, there is. Okay. Oh, we don't have to talk about the ins and outs of it, but discussing whether pirating is possible. Yeah,
simulation.
Yeah. So, I mean, personally,
it is very possible. Put it that way.
Did you emulate Nintendo?
Wow.
What was it? I can't remember what the Nintendo VR one was called. But
the Virtual Boy.
Did you emulate some of those games?
Do you know what? Some of those games are fantastic. So
you want to burn your retina out.
Yeah.
Well.
I enjoy surgery,
Duncan, actually.
Yeah,
I could say
need even thicker glasses.
The Mario on it was absolutely outstanding. I mean, it was such a shame, and Tetris, and I'm trying to think what else there was that was worth talking about. But I mean, the Street Fighter 2 version on the Virtual Boy was outstanding. It was an unofficial.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unofficial game, but it now.
Oh, okay.
It fetches £500, on average, and it's a great game, really great game. So,
Street Fighter 2. Sorry, I'm just looking it up because that. Oh God, but you had one, didn't you? Did it give you headaches?
No.
And
I used it a lot. I think.
Why did they pick red?
They tried to make a color version, and they did, in fact, make one. But cost-wise, it put it right above the most expensive consoles of the time, and it was meant to. The original plan was to make a portable headset where you could load games in and play it on the move. So it was found to be cheaper and more effective with batteries to.
I was going to ask, was it so it was battery powered? It wasn't. You didn't have to have it plugged in.
I think you could get a mains adapter for it, but if I remember rightly, and I'm sure someone will correct me, I'm pretty sure I used batteries in mine.
And was it hand controls with it, or
it had a Nintendo controller which looked a bit like the N64 controller? In fact, it probably was a precursor to the N64 controller. Or maybe even the GameCube. It was probably closer to the GameCube. But if I'm honest, it was really good. And I'm really hard to please, but it was really good for short bursts of gaming.
It has two D-pads, one on the left, one on the right, and it has a select and start button on the left side and a A and B button on the right side.
And a massive battery pack.
Yes, and a big square in the middle. Yeah. So it's a lot like the GameCube controller.
I would definitely recommend anyone, if you can afford to, get one, because it was worth it and you don't get headaches on it at all. So, not that I've ever experienced, and I've played it a lot.
Well, just having a quick look on eBay. Currently, there's one going for £300. Yeah. One going with load of games and add-ons for £814.
I sold consoles. I could get that.
I was very gutted that I sold mine because, I had dropped it though. Well, I didn't drop it. My kids dropped it, and so everything went out of line. So, there we are. What can you do? But
next episode, your turn on. We'll all have Virtual Boy headsets on. All three of us do the episode.
Go back to what I've been playing as well. I've tried to get into Horizon Zero Dawn again, and it's another one that I can't get into it. I just don't find any attachment to the main character. So I've probably played it for about 3 hours, something like that, and I'm just I'm not feeling it.
I was exactly the same. It's just
it's
it's just a graphic demo, really, isn't it? It's not
It's not as good as the first Horizon.
No,
this is the first I'm playing. I'm playing the first one.
You're not playing the new one.
No, I'm not playing Forbidden West.
Forbidden West is the second one.
I'm playing Zero Dawn.
Right.
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not. Alloy just is a bit whiny and whatnot.
They've got a VR version of Horizon, haven't they?
Yes, I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, it's a PSVR 2, isn't it? Only, I want to say. But no, Alloy is not going to be part of my gaming future. I don't think. I've tried to get into it about 3 times, and each time I play a little bit more, and each time I'm like, I can't be bothered with this. Especially at the moment I'm playing that Ayudin Chronicles, and I just want to go back to that.
Yeah, I think that's if a game feels like a chore, then you some games you just can't put down because you just want to play it all the time. Where there's some games you're like, oh, I better have a go because you just I don't really persevere with those games. Like I'd give them a couple of hours and I'm like, nah, that's it. I'm just not getting into it.
There was some good news with Game Pass. Game Pass got a previous PlayStation exclusive. Humanity is coming to Xbox. I presume a year after it's been on PlayStation, but it's also, they've announced Game Pass Day 1. Yay! So at the end of May, which will be a nice birthday present for me. It's going to be on Game Pass. So lemmings with a dog and people. That's the best way to describe it. I think you've played it as well, haven't you, Tom?
I have. It was definitely a 5-minute wonder for me.
Was it? Oh, I loved it.
But it's still a good game. Visually, it's fantastic. So,
well, I think also probably had time to mature in terms of created levels as well, because I think people can create their own levels.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I think, and it will be on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay for it. Well, technically, I have paid for it. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. That's. Did we talk about the Fallout 4 update? Yes, we did talk about that, didn't we? I'm just looking at our so-called notes, and I'm just looking at something else. No, yeah. So I think we've exhausted all news and what we've been playing at the moment, haven't we? Oh, Tom's got the cough. So yeah. I think that's about all we've got to chat about this week, isn't it?
No, as a Nintendo, as I recently just got a Nintendo Switch, what games would you recommend?
Oh God.
Yeah. Super Mario Wonder. Let's face it, you got to get that. That's a given. Although you'll have to pay full price for it.
Yeah, you can't really get Nintendo games cheap, can you? Even they pre-owned.
No. But yeah, Super Mario Wonder is a fantastic Mario game, and it's the best 2D Mario in a long time.
I would definitely recommend getting the Switch Online subscription.
Yeah.
Because all the extra games you get with it are fantastic.
Quite cheap as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really
£34 a year, isn't it?
Yeah, and you get N64, GBA, GB, NES, SNES. Turtles Cowabunga collection's really, really good on the Switch. And the new Star Wars 7 classic games set, that's pretty good.
Oh, what is that, like your Dark Forces kind of thing? Or
it has on it
Racer,
Force Awakens, Force Unleashed, Jedi Knight Academy 1 and 2, the Old Republic, Sith Lords, which is the second one, Republic Commando, and Star Wars Racer. So 7 classic games.
Oh, I mean, just the Old Republic is Knights of the Old Republic is worth the money for that, because
£34. I mean, you can't go wrong. You got the Jurassic Park classic collection coming out as well. It's got all 7 Jurassic Park games on it, from like Mega Drive to whatever else.
There's some tough games.
Yeah, Luigi Mansion 2. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, and Luigi Mansion 3, isn't it? Is that any good? That's because
I didn't know there was a third one out.
the third one came out a couple of years.
Yeah,
Mansion
there
2
is.
was yes, wasn't it? And then Luigi Mansion 3. I think they've remade Luigi Mansion 2. But yeah, there is a Luigi's Mansion 3, which I think got quite good reviews. That was one. I really want to get the Metroid Prime remastered because I really like that game on GameCube, so be able to play it.
They've got the Batman Arkham collection coming out as well. All 3 games. So
did feel bad for my Wii U though because it's taken my Wii U spot.
Oh, that's saying something.
Is your Wii U just crying in the corner?
Yeah, I've got a better version of you now.
And I can get all your games better.
The question is, will you upgrade to a Switch 2?
Probably, yeah.
I think I will.
imagine so.
So I can't get past the whole. Yeah, I mean they've got great first-party games, but I just can't get past the fact that they will sell a first-party game for the same full price. Well, because people keep buying it. It's like it's really expensive. When my stepson bought the Quest, which there you go. One thing that he did look at was a Switch, and I said to him, but look at how much the games are. I said, and work out what games you want, and even cheap, they will still be expensive. And yeah, even he looked at it and went, I think I'll get a Quest instead then.
Some of their games, like Tears of the Kingdom, is worth as much.
The games are fantastic. Don't disagree with that, but you think sometimes, especially the fact that they also make you want to. Oh, this game is 20 years old, and you bought it on all our devices. Why don't you buy it again, or pay us a subscription to play it again?
Well, I think we're going to get. We must be on the cards for a new Mario Kart. I think that's inevitable, or a Mario Kart collection. I think that might work well. HD.
I mean, there's a full F-Zero 99. Do you think there'll be a Mario Kart 99?
I hope not. Do you know they were going to release Mario Kart on tell a lie. There was a release of Mario Kart on the Virtual Boy. It was a homebrew hack, but it's called Virtual Cup. Looked really good. So, I was gonna.
Could you? You said you've never been beaten on Mario Kart. Is that right, Tom?
Never.
Is that including online? Do you play Mario Kart online or not?
You didn't beat me.
I beat you. I beat you, Tom. I did. On that first race, I beat you.
And then what happened on all the other races?
Well, yeah, but on that first race, I beat you. No, Tom is better than me, but the very first, so after building it up, that it was very good at everything. I beat him totally. Both
on the first race.
I launched a red.
Did you get a Billy bullet?
I was in second.
And then I got my own back.
and I launched a red shell just before he got to the line, and then passed him and went over the line.
Yeah. Do you play it online then, Tom? Mario Kart or?
I played until my Switch broke. I played the original SNES Mario Kart online on the virtual online subscription. Very competitive. I used to play the Switch and the Wii U version online, but if I'm honest, it was too easy. So it's not competitive at all. I mean, like they have the things that jump out on the track at you to try and eat you and stuff like that, but actually, you've only got to drive around them. Whereas on the original Mario Kart, you had things the moles that jumped out of the track and used to smother your face, and you'd have to press the 2 buttons at the top to get rid of it. And on the Double Dash, you'd have things that would actually come after you. You know, so it's geared towards kids now, isn't it? Let's face it, it's not hard. So,
but was it easy? As in online? Is there? I presume there's a ranking system maybe for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
So I played it online on the Wii U. Before
there's a lot of cheating.
I suppose, yeah. With it being the Switch being quite easy to hack, I can imagine there's probably a lot of online cheating.
Well, last week I I suggested on the show that Nintendo should look at doing an online subscription for all their old games. And that was me pie in the sky, a bit like Gamepass, but for Nintendo. Well, I had a little chat with someone who should remain nameless, but does work for Nintendo. And apparently it's something they're considering. So, not off the back of our episode, clearly.
Do you mean, you obviously not the classic games, do you mean sort of like, they'd put Tears of the Kingdom on there? Or
Well, it'd be NES, SNES, GameCube, all the Game Boys, and you would literally pay a certain amount to have that game on either a mobile device, console, streaming from TV, and it would just be always there.
Oh, so it is like the current one, but more expansive.
Yeah, and available on multiple
like day one releases, couldn't they? Potentially,
depends
how big it got, wouldn't it? I
mean, if they said, "Oh, here, pay £30 a month, and you can play all of our games," but
if you could buy like a NES game for £1.50, and then it's always there in your collection, whether you connect via the Switch, your mobile phone, your tablet. I mean, there's worth in that, I think.
And that's the thing. I think now that Nintendo have probably noticed that rather than having a Wii store and having a Wii U store and then a Switch store, they just have a Nintendo account and you buy that game for that account. I think that's the key to it, is that when the Switch 2 comes out, you'll be able to go, I own on my Nintendo account Mario Kart 8. I own Tears of the Kingdom digitally.
But if there's a subscription, then it would just be, as long as your subscription is active, then you can just go on,
access
the games or what games you want.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Switch? Do you think the Switch 2 sort of power-wise will be the same as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, or do you think they're still going to go down the route of as the Switch did?
I think it will be the equivalent of the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I think Steam Deck kind of power.
Yeah,
I think because those chips, that chipset is readily available now. In fact, the Steam Deck is at the lower end, but they've already designed the Steam Deck, the Switch 2, so it probably is from the the RDNA 2 and 3 sort of era. So either the power of the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, ROG Ally.
I reckon it'll be the power of an RTX 490.
Absolutely. Having it in your hand, and within 30 seconds it's melted. That's if the battery lasts long enough.
I think what we will see though, when it is synced to the TV, I think you'll find it will be 4K, and I think it will be comparable to the PS5 when it's synced on the dock.
Ooh.
But I think mobile wise, it will be Steam Deck.
I think they'd have to have a dock with some extra power in there, though. So if you look at things like, 4K. If it was old games from the NES and all that kind of thing, A, there's no point in them being 4K because they're not 4K, and B, it's but no, I don't think it'll be 4K for new games, because that would need a lot of power, and it ain't going to have that unless we do have the 4090 style power with and they have a battery pack the size of your house.
I think the ROG Ally can sit in the dock. There's a dock you can get for it, and it syncs in. There's a laptop that does exactly the same. They're all kind of on the same infrastructure, so you can play. You
can have an eGPU. There's an eGPU dock, I think, for the ROG Ally. So you can plug in a GPU to the dock, and when you sit the handheld in it, it uses the power of that GPU.
Yeah.
But then generally, the eGPUs are really expensive, and it's you might as well buy a desktop if you're going to do that. So yeah, I mean they could have a few technical wizardry to give a bit more power, or maybe some more memory when it's docked, something like that. But I don't think I think they'll be quite happy with their technical wizardry of the power of the Steam Deck level.
So the Steam Deck is only digital, isn't it? You can't get physical games on the Steam Deck.
It's all there's no.
And they'll still do physical games with the new Switch with the little.
Yeah, well, apparently it's backwards compatible. So
it will have to be then, wouldn't it?
But do we think this is? Do we think we get into a stage now where, with Xbox doing the questionnaire about handheld gaming, Nintendo has really won the console war this time round with the Switch?
But you say this time round, it's been around for 8 years, hasn't it? Yeah.
So it's essentially won the last 2 generations in theory.
Yeah, it's won 2 generations.
Do we think
PlayStation 4 outsold the Switch, didn't it? I think
did it?
4.
I'm not sure.
I'll have a look while you're chatting.
Yeah, I think it's the most, other than the PS2, I think the PS4 is the second.
But do we think we're coming to the last generation of game consoles for all these companies? Are we going to be game streaming from everyone, all the companies? I think Sony will do another couple of consoles, but I think Microsoft and maybe even Nintendo will just go down a different route.
I think this is what I think Microsoft are hoping for. I think Microsoft are hoping for a platform agnostic future where
become like Netflix.
Yeah, because the money isn't in the hardware. The hardware, none of them make much money on that, if any. The money is all in the subscriptions and the game sales, the digital game sales. So,
do you think we'll come a point where there's just isn't physical games anymore and it will all just be digital?
I think it's coming to that. Gamers stopped doing pre-owned games now, haven't they? That's all stopping.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
CEX and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, people can play. What was it? There was a game recently, another one, a big one that's come out that hasn't got a physical version. Is digital only. And there are people who collect and only want the physical media. Unfortunately for them, I agree with Tom. It's coming to an end. I think this is the last generation where that will be. The Switch, I think it will possibly be backwards compatible only. Maybe the odd physical cartridge, but mostly no. I think no point.
I think also you've got to look at now the eco side of things, like all this waste material that goes into gaming, and can they cut costs of games by making them digital only? I mean, in theory,
the digital games always seem more expensive than the physical, but then I guess you have less options where you can get.
Yeah, there's also you have to have server maintenance, which
I mean,
it's an ongoing cost rather than a one-off cost. That's the problem with digital.
Physical to digital. I know digital is more convenient because you can just get it there and then. But if I have a choice, I quite like just being able to hold.
I do. They're not as for me. It's like when you bought a Super Nintendo game, you got a cartridge. It was something substantial. And then you had the box out, and then you had the instruction booklet. Now you have a tiny piece of plastic that is no bigger than a stamp, and then you have a disc that, let's face it, it's a bit boring. So it doesn't have the same hit like it used to.
Yeah, back in the day when you used to get the manual with it, and you get the game, and you would open it up, and you would look at the manual before, on the car journey back or something.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, it's just here it is.
Although the plastic cases and the crack of opening them first time, that's very satisfying.
I can see. Yeah, I can be on that one. I mean, I can go right back to, and Duncan will remember this. I think is going into game stores in the early to mid 80s when you would see cassettes stacked to the ceiling. And then gradually Super Nintendo and Mega Drive boxes would come in and they would do the same. And they would have the special displays with the demonstration machine. And there was something really, really unique and exciting about walking into a game store back in those days. And you'd look at the back of the cassette and you'd see the graphics and you'd go, that looks really good. And that would be it. That looks really good. And you'd go home and you'd be really pleased with your purchase, even if it was absolutely shit. You play Alien, and Alien, it was a top-down game, and graphically it looked amazing on the back. And actually, when you played it, it was basically Moonwalker, the non-arcade version, top-down, walking around a maze. It was crap. But you owned Alien, and you went to your mates, and you said to your mates, I've got Alien for the Amstrad or Alien for the Spectrum. That's really cool.
Nobody said they got Alien for the Amstrad.
But yeah, I mean, I think, the excitement of the days of games is the odd one here or there.
And there is the move as well to not pre-order games, because at the end of the day, the only reason you had to pre-order games was because you went to a shop for Grand Theft Auto 4 and they sold out.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I pre-ordered very, very few games, but I know GTA 4, I lived in Kent at the time, and I went at 7 o'clock in the morning because they were opening up early and queued there, and I think I was third in line. And literally just, there's the manager standing there with a big pile of them and just literally handing them out as people walked in. And I think 20 minutes later, it was like turning people away because they'd sold all their ones that they had there out. And you don't need to do that anymore because it's all digital. So if you want a game, if it looks good, you just go, I want that. Done.
Games still try it on though, don't they? Pre-order this now. You think?
Well, it's early access is the new pre-order, I think.
A few days before release.
Yeah,
that's in the console. That's a bit different.
Yeah. So you got all the bloody scalpers and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I pre-ordered the PS5. Didn't buy it in the end. I bought it a few months later, but I
pre-ordered the Xbox. I did get it on launch day, although I got an email saying, a notification saying, let's say, I don't know if it came out on the Friday. Let's say it came out on the Friday. I got a notification from Amazon saying, your delivery will now be tomorrow on Saturday. And I contacted them and went, no, I don't think it will. And because I probably had the day off work or whatever to make sure I was in and all this kind of thing. So I contacted their customer service and said, no, I pre-ordered this on the day and you're not fobbing me off for other people. And they went, all right then. And then they sent one that day. And I was like, there you go. So they are in future with hardware, complain. You will get your own way. But I think the way they did it with Steam Deck, I think is probably the way forward to stop scalpers. Is you've got to have a Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever account, and you've got to have had it for a certain amount of time. Maybe even then use achievement score or amount of games or that you've played it within a certain length of time. Because Steam Deck, you could only order if you're at first pre-order for the first day or 2 days if you had an account that was at least 6 months old and you'd purchased something in the last, I want to say 18 months or something, or it might have been 6 months as well. But anyway, it stopped scalpers. It didn't stop me still having to wait 3 months after it came out, even though I ordered 41 minutes after the pre-orders opened up. I still had to wait 3 months after the release to get one. But I think they should do that.
Are we all saying we're going to get a Switch 2 on day one then?
I'm not. I'll say it. No, I'm out.
I don't know. Depends on the situation at the time.
What about, let's say this. They say it's coming out, it's backwards compatible, and it's £500. Yes or no?
No.
Martin?
Probably, I don't know. It would just depend on the circumstance at that time.
Yeah.
299, yes. 500, definitely not.
500.
Yeah, but that'd be cheaper than the current Switch, wouldn't it? Really, because the current Switch OLED is at the retail price is about $330. I want to say.
I would assume they would drop the price.
Well, I mean, if it's backwards compatible, they'll just sell off the stock, won't they? The original one. But I could see it being £350, £400.
Yeah. But then I suppose in a way, you've got what we look coming up in the market. We've got potentially a new PlayStation handheld,
PS5 Pro as well.
PS5 Pro, maybe an Xbox handheld,
Xbox Pro as well, maybe.
And then we've got another Meta headset, which is likely to be announced next year, and then obviously the Switch 2. So there is a lot coming out, and then you're going to have the next generation Steam Deck within what 18 months.
Yeah, I think they've said that it'll probably be 2026. I reckon.
The jump has to be worth it, doesn't it?
There is one thing we hadn't touched on. There is going to be an Xbox branded Meta Quest 3, isn't there? Coming out. It's going to be a packaged. They've just teased it, but it's probably going to be packaged with a controller and probably Game Pass or something.
It's 12 months Game Pass or something.
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be a Meta Quest 3. That's all, probably with a green X on it.
We mentioned all those consoles and even that Xbox Meta Quest. We're talking another 5 years worth of gaming there, and potentially Nintendo another 7 years of gaming. But actually, it's not very exciting.
No.
I'm more interested in the Steam Deck 2 than all of what I've just mentioned.
Me as well, to be honest. I mean, I like Nintendo. I don't dislike Nintendo, but yeah, I'm not excited for the Switch 2, mostly because they will probably re-release Tears of the Kingdom, they will re-release Super Mario Wonder, and I'm sure any new first-party games will be brilliant, but they'll be £60-70, and they'll be £60-70 in 3 years' time. Yeah, that doesn't excite me.
I think we've got 10 years before we see anything remotely exciting on console releases.
Ooh. But what about if that thing that we don't quite know, that big thing that everybody's going to have, we don't know if that'll be in amongst that.
An Amstrad Mini, yeah, cool.
You can see an Amstrad Mini in every home.
Yeah,
playing Harrier Attack.
And an Atari VCS down to £50. Yeah, bang on.
Well, guys, I think we've been nearly an hour and 20 minutes now, so I think we've put the world to rights.
We have.
Have we got anything? We have got an interview in a couple of weeks, haven't we?
One next week. With,
excellent.
Who are we interviewing next week? We've got Michael. Is it Michael Nerney? No, in 2 weeks' time, Michael Nerney we're interviewing, who's just done the 8-bit era book. Which quite interesting. And then we've got a couple of other interviews planned in the coming months. So, yeah, interesting stuff.
Excellent. Everybody should like and subscribe. We've got the email addresses and web addresses focusongaming.co.uk, and you can email us contact@focusongaming.co.uk, or use our names at focusongaming.co.uk. And everyone should like and subscribe, shouldn't they? Yay!
Check out our Facebook page. Check out the posts.
Yeah, and not the TikToks, because we're not on TikTok. We're too old. We're too old for that. Well, okay. Me and Tom are too old for that.
Yeah, Martin's going to go and do some TikTok dances while holding his wheel.
Yeah, thank God you said you then. Yeah.
If that's not a euphemism, nothing is. And on that note, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.